Anthony, welcome to Mallory. You've already set something of a record because you're probably the only rider to ride in 4 championships in one season. So what brings you to the UK?
Mainly just to keep my eye in, really, and I really sort of jumped at the opportunity to ride a Yamaha. I haven't had a chance to ride one. I've been watching what Hager's been doing on one all-unit World Superbike, and been kind of wondering how I'd go on it myself because I have a similar kind of riding style. And I got the phone call from Rob McElnay about the ride, and really just been excited about it. And unfortunately for this, this track, it's a little bit dodgy for me. It's a little bit dangerous, so I'm kind of holding back a little bit. And hopefully, when we get to the next round, then hopefully it might be a little bit better.
You've had a glittering career, and you're regarded by a lot of people as a rider who's probably got more natural talent than most. But you've not always been able to translate that into success on the track. Why is that?
Mainly, I think, because I've kind of matured a little bit now, and I'm kind of realising that I'm not really achieving what I really want to, and that's to be world champion. And I have won, a bunch of different races here and there, but I haven't really put, in a full solid season, and it kind of frustrates me a bit. But I kind of feel that I'm at an age where now I'm ready to do it. This year was really hard for me because with the Bermuda deal, I was really willing to give it 100%. And we're fortunate enough to have a win at Phillip Island, and things are looking good, and then everything turned sour with a few mechanical problems, and then the team ended up finishing. So that's kind of upset this year, but I really do feel I'm at a stage where I hopefully can put a full year together and maybe end up with my goal.
And of course the next round is at Brands, and Brands you know and like.
Yeah, that's right. I've always gone really good there in World Superbikes, and I am really looking forward to it. I haven't really raced that much as well this year, so I kind of feel a little bit stale, and being a new bike, new track, everything, I have to try and take everything into consideration and not, do anything silly, and this isn't the kind of track where you need to try and be a hero, I don't think.
Well, we're delighted to have you here. You've brought something to the British Series, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Neil Hodgson posted the GSE team's 7th consecutive pole position with a blistering time there ahead of Walker, Reynolds and Hayden. The top 14 riders were within 1 second round this 1.3 Mallory Park circuit. On row 3, an unfamiliar sight there, Neil Mackenzie, with Sean Emmett, Crawford and Crockford, and Paul Young, Craghill, Wood and Kipp rounding out the 4th row.
Well, this is it. Round 19 is forming up on the grid here at Mallory, and who better to talk to than our man in pole position, Neil Hodgson. Neil, you left it really late in the day yesterday to grab pole. Was that the plan?
Definitely not. No, it was a little bit more luck than judgment, to be honest. Everything was going not according to plan, to be honest, and then I went out with about 3 minutes to go. I did 1 lap, and then my next lap was my flying lap, which got pole. And I was lucky because the checkered flag nearly came out as I came round, and it meant that the lap wouldn't have stood. So very, very fortunate.
Chris Walker, Chris, you took a tumble here earlier this week. Are you nursing any injuries?
Not really. I've broke a couple of toes, but it's nothing serious. They're not really bothering when I'm riding. They're on the outside of my right foot, so it's only the back brake, and don't use that much. So no, it's not been a problem at all. I've been pretty lucky, really. Well,
most people want 8 weeks off work for broken toes, but anyway, the bike's set up really well. This is one of your favourite tracks. Are you looking for a win today?
Yeah, definitely. We just got a little bit of an indecision really with tyres, but I think a few of the front guys are all the same really. I've been struggling for grip all weekend. But other than that, pretty happy. The bike's flying, as always, and I'll be doing the business if I can. So hopefully I'll get it off, bring it off and get a good result.
Well, just 24 riders on the line, but 15 of those are factory bikes, and the entire front row are inside the existing lap record held by James Hayden. And Neil Hodgson got a terrific start on the right-hand side of your picture, the number 4 Ducati. Going with him, though, hard, Chris Walker, and we're looking back now from Chris Walker at Neil Hodgson. So Chris Walker on the Suzuki has grabbed the lead going into Gerrard's. Hodgson number 4 in 2nd, then it's Hayden, the lap record holder, in 3rd. A brilliant start by number 22, Steve Plater on the Kawasaki. He's in 4th. Also showing well, number 16, Shane Byrne. Good to see Shane Byrne going so well. Newly back, and a big wiggle from Plater's number 22 Kawasaki. Reynolds is in 5th place. Chris Walker, number 2, leads at the hairpin. First time round. Look how tightly they're bunched. No sign yet of the Australian, Anthony Gobert, but he started way down the order, qualified in 18th place, so clearly he's got a massive job to do. Meanwhile, 6 points adrift in the championship. Chris Walker leads the championship leader, Neil Hodgson.
Well, it's 28 laps round this 1.3 mile circuit, so at the moment the riders really getting the tyres all working and settled in. You'll notice where the change in the tarmac surface there is at the Exeter Gerrard. The bikes wiggle a bit, that's normal. They're squirting the power on out of there as hard as they can before coming down to the S's. 90 miles an hour through here. This is the part of the circuit where we're going to see some action into this very tight hairpin. You can see all the way down to first gear, the slowest part on the circuit, before up to second through this bus stop chicane. You could see flames then on the corner of the screen out of the exhaust of Chris Walker's bike. That's petrol burning in the pipe, but Neil Hodgson now on bike number 4 has got it all to do to catch back up to Chris Walker.
Well, it's a little bit grey here, a little bit uncertain, and a quick look again. Look at the flames on the left-hand side of your picture out of the Suzuki exhaust. Roger Burnett referred to those in the live action. Terrific stuff, and Neil Hodgson, of course, must not let that sort of thing distract him. He would have had a clear view of it, might even have smelt the burning petrol vapour when he is that close, and close he is now. I was about to say that there have been spots of rain, but uncertain as the weather is, everyone is on slick tyres. Tyres will almost certainly be a major factor in this 28 lapper around this 1.37 mile Mallory Park circuit. And a terrific toll, Roger, is taken on the right-hand side of the tyre.
Well, just to give you some background, Friday of qualifying rained and the riders didn't get any dry track time. That's how come Saturday was the only time that they got to use the slick tyres on this circuit. So there's a number of combinations of tyre to go through, probably 6 rears and 4 fronts. So the chances of getting it right are pretty much good, but then somebody may get it wrong. And Hayden now's got it wrong because he's overshot the hairpin, almost letting teammate John Reynolds come through, and Steve Plater on bike 22's come to join the action.
Well, that's the scrap for third place you're looking at. There are team orders allegedly between the two Team Revy Racing Ducatis, the number 5 and the number 3 Ducati, because the number 3 in the centre of your picture, John Reynolds, is in third place in the championship, and he can see the leading 2 getting further and further away as the weeks and races go by. And this is Hodgson attacking. There is an almighty slide, and that's the reason James Hayden went wide, and that is John Crockford. That's the Privateer Championship leader, has taken a tumble as well. Now, where is that? He's come, going into the S's. John Crockford losing it, going into the S's, fortunately without injury, and this the scrap for 3rd, 4th and 5th place. John Reynolds has got ahead of Hayden as a result of his going wide at the hairpin. Steve Plater, Roger, is having a terrific ride.
Well, this is one of Steve Plater's favourite circuits, but this is the view that we've got from Chris Walker, and Hodgson's caught right up to the back of Chris Walker now through the bus-off chicane, and Hodgson turned the power on there and almost lost the back end. You can see how much ground he's lost as a consequence of that. And let's not forget that these two riders are separated by just 1 point in the championship. A replay of the Hodgson incident. Look, as he goes, flicks the bike round, you saw then trying to get the power on, and that really did catch him out. Now, that may have just steadied Neil Hodgson.
Well, he's followed by 2 very hot Ducatis, number 3 John Reynolds, number 5 James Hayden, the current lap record holder. Steve Plater, though, in 5th place, number 22 on the Kawasaki, not giving up. In 2nd place, we're looking back at Neil Hodgson, who is now very close with Chris Walker, made a dive up the inside at the bus stop chicane, and I was watching Chris Walker in qualifying at that point. Look at Hodgson, he is going right, he's going left, he's going up the inside at Gerrard's. No, he's not. Chris Walker just squeezed him out on the brakes. He's all over the back of Chris Walker like a rash. They are so close now. Hodgson, the championship leader by one, I remind you. Very, very small point, and there are 25 points up for grabs in each and every race. So if things stay the way they are, Chris Walker will take over the championship lead, and no one will be more acutely aware of that than number 4, Neil Hodgson. So he clearly knows what he has to do, and that's get the orange INS GSE Ducati past the Suzuki of Chris Walker, the number 2 Suzuki, who has started so well in every race this year. There's nobody gets away from the green light like Chris Walker. Colin Wright and the rest of the INS team anxiously watching their man perform. What a year, what a dream year Neil Hodgson has had. I saw a glimpse of tail enders. We're not quite halfway through the race, and tail enders have played a part so many times in the past. Is it going to be deja vu?
Well, Neil Hodgson looks like he's got an advantage with grip. I think maybe he's chosen the right tyres, and whether Chris Walker is wearing the tyres harder or not, and that's giving him a lack of grip, we'll have to wait and see. But now this is where it all starts to get interesting, because as they come up to lap the slower riders, these slower riders take some passing, believe me, because there are very few overtaking places on this tight Mallory Park circuit. And now you can see as they go one side and the other on the approach to Gerrards. Let me remind you, that's 158 miles an hour on the entry point to that corner, slowing down now onto the apex of the corner to round about 110, 115 miles an hour, before accelerating hard now through to the exit of Gerrards and coming back into view there at 140 miles an hour.
The shadows on the track tell you that it's getting a little bit brighter here, certainly very dry, so the track temperature, I would suspect, at its optimum point right now. Tyre wear not yet looking to be a factor. If anybody's going to wear his tyre out quickly, it'll be Chris Walker, because he's an all-action rider. He makes the back end of that Suzuki work, and coming out of here, he short shifts very quickly. I was watching him in qualifying, and he hooks it up 2 gears, gets it on the drive-in fourth. He's hitting 5th at about the end of the pit lane about this point before he sits up hard on the front brake, and as Roger said, well over 150 miles an hour into the long sweeping double apex Gerrards. He's stretched that gap now to something like 5 or 6 machine lengths, but we know only too well where Neil Hodgson is quick. He's very quick through the S's. He is aggressive to the point of mania up towards the hairpin, and he really closes Chris Walker down as they go into the hairpin and the bus stop chicane. Now, which side is he going to go? He's looking left, wide in, tight out. Is that the way? The Ducati punches out of here. It's got more bottom end torque. This is where he gets right on the back of Chris Walker. There it is. You can't get much closer than that.
Well, John Reynolds is starting to creep back into the frame. You can see him at the back of the picture there on bike number 3. So these two are going to have to be slightly careful, because Reynolds can catch them. Reynolds is a capable rider. He's very capable of putting lap record times in. And Hodgson now is right on the back of Walker. Let's just look and see if he can get a better drive onto the straight.
Tucked in behind the slipstream, moves out wide, going to go round the outside into the Lake S's. No way through, said Chris Walker. He's riding a defensive line, which is maybe not the fastest line, and could possibly give the 3rd, 4th and 5th place men an opportunity to move up. This is a shot of Neil Hodgson taking a look at the outside. This the battle there between Steve Plater, number 22, James Hayden, number 5, and ahead of them, Hayden's teammate John Reynolds is now well away. Oh, round the outside goes Hodgson. That was unbelievably brave at the S's. I said he was a demon going into there, and he is. That almost caught me unawares. It certainly caught Chris Walker unawares, because he is now 2 on the bike, 2nd in the championship, 2nd in the race.
Well, that was an unbelievable move by Hodgson. Let's just see if we can see what happened. It looks like the exit speed from Gerrards there. Walker moves over to take a defensive line, and Hodgson, with a very brave manoeuvre all the way around the outside, and took the advantage.
Sensational stuff by Neil Hodgson. Well, this is his best year ever. We've said it before and I'll say it again. He really is in unbeatable form in the year 2000 season. What a bright future Neil Hodgson has ahead of him. And ahead of him also, he has number 69, Steve Marks, one of the tail enders. And hopefully Steve Marks will be aware that they are coming. He should do, because he's about to have an almighty surprise. Are they going to go either side of him? No, they're not. He tucks neatly. He knew they were there. Well done, Steve. Out of the way. Hodgson, though. Walker got the Suzuki in a huge shake as he got the power on as early as he dare. He is now really fighting back. He never gives up. Chris Walker on the inside at the hairpin. Walker, everything that's happened this season must have flashed through Chris Walker's mind there. The temptation to run on into that bend, Roger, must have been enormous.
Well, Chris Walker there surprised me, because I thought he was going to stick it up the inside of Hodgson at the hairpin. Maybe he's saving it because this is the last lap that they're on now. But yeah, he withheld himself and showed restraint.
Well, we've seen them come together more than once this year, and that would have been a carbon copy move had Chris Walker kept on going on the Suzuki. But he didn't. Davy Wood now, the next of the tail enders, about to be relegated on the last lap. And it doesn't take very long. They're lapping here in 47 and a bit seconds round the Mallory Park circuit. Davy Wood, very well aware they're out of the way, so he stays wide. Chris Walker's now got to fire the Suzuki up through the bus stop chicane. Hodgson riding defensively, tucking his knee on the curb. Davy Wood might just get out of the way in time. Yes, he does. They're on the inside, and away they go over the line. A massive wheelie. Neil Hodgson extends that championship lead to 6 points again. And Roger, we've been here before.
Well, I think this championship's going to go all the way down to the wire. The way these two are riding, and that was Plater getting 4th spot. That's Plater's best result of the season.
Well, a good result for Steve Plater, and terrific celebration wheelies from the first and second. You don't get better than that, except Neil Hodgson nearly lost the plot there momentarily. Confirmation of the result. Hodgson, Walker, Reynolds got 3rd. Plater, as I said, a best ever 4th place. And the existing lap record holder, James Hayden, in 5th.
Neil, that was an absolutely fantastic ride. You must be so delighted with that.
Yeah, it was a really good race for me. I think I pulled out a little bit of a better package than Chris. He seemed to be struggling for grip a bit more than me. Just pleased it's over with. Good race. Looking forward to the second one.
Chris, a great second place. Neil there in his interview said that he felt for you because you were really struggling with grip.
Yeah, that's right. I was just spinning up virtually the whole race. Once I did a real good first few laps, and then just the back tyre just started spinning. It was one that I chose, and we've not really got anything better for the second race. But you know, we'll just work on the chassis a little bit. Now I've had a race, we know what to do, sort of thing, and hopefully have a better package for the next race. But the bike was flying, no excuses. Neil rode well and deserved the win.
What a consummate professional Neil Hodgson is. A calculated and clinical win. John Reynolds a little bit rueful there. He must feel now, what do I have to do to catch these two boys? And the crowd at Mallory, just as, in fact, as good as the crowd at Cadwell. They love their motorcycle sport, and the riders respond to them beautifully. Round 20 coming up. Join us again shortly for the next race.